Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our client training webinar. We're going to be discussing how display advertising can help with recruiting and branding goals. And just a few housekeeping tips before we begin. You can connect to audio using your computer's microphone and speakers, or you may select Use Telephone after joining the webinar. All lines for the attendees have been muted to avoid background noise. And also, we will be sending out the recording after the webinar within 24 to 48 hours. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to Kelly Payne, our Director of Client Services here at Glassdoor.
Thank you, Sophia, and thank you everybody on the line for joining today. One more housekeeping item that I just wanted to reiterate is that because lines are muted, we do have an option for everyone on the line to ask questions. You can ask them here in that questions panel. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to shoot them over via that outlet. I will do my best to answer them in the time we have today, which is just 30 short minutes. If for some reason I do not get to them today, we do get a repository of all the questions that have been asked, and I'll make sure to follow up with you directly, or I'll make sure to send them to your account team to follow up with you directly if you are a paying client. So moving on, my name is Kelly. I'm the Director of Client Services here at Glassdoor. My teams help shape our clients' products to deliver and make sure that they see a successful partnership with Glassdoor and with our products and solutions. I have my contact information here on the screen, so this is my personal email and my Twitter if you are a social media junkie like myself. So feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any follow-up questions or feedback. Again, if you are a social media guru and you feel like tweeting today throughout the webinar, you can use hashtag GDChat. Which is just what we use to follow all of our webinar and social media presence for seminars and webinars like this. So to get started, our agenda today is going to be just talking a little bit about who's on Glassdoor. So what does the audience look like, and then how are you going to use products like our display advertising solutions to target the right audience on Glassdoor? I'm going to show you how to leverage specific display initiatives to target, different needs within your organization, and we're going to talk about how some of our partners have successfully been able to do that with our solutions. So jumping right in, we have over 30 million members visiting the site from all over the world. Our audience, as you can see here, is highly diverse. They're educated, so we've got a lot of people with college degrees. We have, about a quarter of our audience with grad school degrees as well. So a really robust, educated workforce that's coming onto Glassdoor to look for organizations like yours and ask, do I want to work at this organization? Doing their research. Although most employers and most organizations think that job seekers use Glassdoor to research companies, in fact, job search, so coming to Glassdoor to find a place to work, find a job that's right for them, has become the #1 and fastest growing page and search result page on Glassdoor. So what that's showing is, in addition to what Glassdoor has been known for, which is reviews and ratings, we're kind of evolving within the industry, and people are coming to Glassdoor now not only to just do that research and read the reviews about what it's like to work at your organization, but they're also looking for positions and making that really educated decision. And we have 3 solutions that help organizations just like you on the phone, whether you're a client or just an employer looking to get more information about Glassdoor, that allow employers to brand, influence, and hire with Glassdoor. So the first one is our display advertising solutions, and where we're going to spend the majority of our time today. These solutions allow employers to build brand awareness and target job seekers with diverse backgrounds based on the credentials that you need to fill whatever requirements within your organization, as well as getting in front of candidates that are researching your competitors' profiles, and we'll talk a little bit about that today as well. Second is our enhanced profile, and kind of what Glassdoor was built on, our flagship product, which is the ability to tell your side of the story with your employer brand on Glassdoor. It helps companies amplify that brand and influence candidates as they research and make career decisions. The product also includes unique analytics and deep candidate insights, so you can see exactly who's researching your company and use that data to make different decisions within our partnership or within your organization as a whole to make sure that you're getting in front of the right people and the right candidate audience. And then finally is our job advertisements. We have a variety of different ways you can purchase them based on the way that you like to purchase recruitment advertising. But it places, what all of these solutions do on Glassdoor is it places your jobs in front of candidates across desktop, mobile, and email who may not necessarily be aware of your organization. So we're going to talk today about our targeted display advertisement. So the biggest thing that these do is influence candidates who, again, may not be thinking of your brand top of mind. It helps get specific messages across for initiatives that your organization is doing or needs to fulfill. You can drive targeted awareness through diversity. We've seen a lot of organizations do successful display advertising partnerships with us for veterans and other initiatives that you may have for any other, OFCC compliance, etc. You can segment those ads by the location you want to target, the industry, or even the competitors' profiles. You can target criteria that can be customized to meet your specific client goals. So we have a dedicated team in service, our implementation team, and they're the experts that help identify the right inventory and demographics that you'd like to target based on your needs. We have available campaigns in lots of different varieties, and some of them you're seeing here, so diversity and inclusion, veterans, graduates and millennials. So, if you're an organization that has great internship programs or great, post-college programs, you want to make sure that you're getting that message out in areas that maybe aren't just on your profile. And display advertisements allows you to do that. A lot of companies like to target their competitors. So that's a product that we have for display called competitor retargeting. So if you are PepsiCo and Coca-Cola is a competitor where you lose talent for, you can target Coca-Cola's page with your advertisements because maybe they're not a paying client. So it allows you to get in front of candidates that not only are thinking of your brand, but are not thinking of your brand top of mind, and maybe you're thinking about your competitors. We have a lot of organizations that have seasonal hiring, so a lot of our retail partners and I'm sure if any of you are on the phone right now, you're probably nodding your head as you're heading into the busy holiday time. You need to do a ton of additional hiring and advertisements that allow you to showcase that hiring in areas that maybe aren't just in job placements or on the profile. It's a great benefit with our advertising solutions. And then any types of awards or event promotions, we have organizations that use them for career fairs, which is also wonderful. It allows, again, to just get in front of those candidates that aren't thinking of you top of mind. And the result for you as an employer is candidates who have done their research, because not only are they looking for jobs, and they're seeing that advertisement, but your brand is now coming full front because that display advertisement is now in front of them, and they're saying, okay, maybe I wasn't thinking of Coca-Cola, but now I'm going to go and look at that brand. And they've researched your organization, and they're engaged with your business, and they're interested in applying. And what that does for you in terms of your hiring pipeline is it gives you more informed applicants that understand the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what I always say. And they make that decision that they want to apply and they want to work there, and display advertisements have helped influence that decision. And so, the biggest theme here is just one of the things that Glassdoor does that a lot of other people in this industry don't do or don't have the capacity to do is we have a specific targeting algorithm that gets jobs and gets advertisements in front of consumers or job candidates based on what they're searching for. So if you're a candidate and you're logging into Glassdoor via Facebook, which is where 90 or 95% of our consumer audience logs in, we're getting information about your location, probably some of your past professional history, where you currently work, and we're putting jobs and advertisements in front of those candidates based on their credentials. So we're targeting the right candidates based on not only your goals, but what we know and what we believe that they should be seeing. So our display advertisements can help employers by targeting specific candidates. So you can see here that these AT&T advertisements are targeting specific people and messaging to the right audience. You can speak to candidates, again, about specific hiring events or specific life cycle events within your organization that you want job seekers to know about. And then again, we mentioned that competitor retargeting. It's always a nice additional benefit that employers and clients of ours like to have, because when you're trying to win the war for talent, you're often having to compete with some other tough names that are maybe giving different perks and compared to what you're doing. So utilizing the display advertising platform here allows you to speak to those candidates and tell your side of the story. And so, again, like I mentioned, that candidate retargeting, you're able with our advertising solutions to target those candidates as they research competitors, and then even after they leave Glassdoor. So once they get off of Glassdoor, your ads will follow them based on their credentials and based on what we know about the audience that you want to see. So now we're going to dive a little bit into specific display initiatives that we've seen with organizations that have partnered with us and how they've targeted unique audiences. Okay. So our targeted display ads. So you can see here that Accenture and Sodexo, some of our mutual partners, Accenture being a technology organization, they got a ton of male applicants, and that's great. But they also need to make the workforce equal, and they wanted to target female candidates as well. And so they partnered with us to do some diversity campaigns where they targeted female consultants, and we got those advertisements in front of people that may not have seen them previously. And the result was that their applications increased by 50%. Now, the advertisement wasn't the only thing that made that result happen, made that the applications increase by 50%, but the advertisement was the first step in influencing female consultants, engineers, to thinking about Accenture as a place of work that they may not have thought about in the past. Sodexo, another organization that had some needs with diversity. They wanted to make sure that their workforce was diverse, that they had lots of different genders, races, etc. And they leveraged our platform to get in front of candidates. They targeted, different types of races and gender backgrounds, and the result was that with our overall partnership, which consisted of their employer profile, job advertisements, and that display component, which is so integral, 35% of their hires that came from Glassdoor met that diversity criteria. And they may not have in the past if they didn't have that display advertising targeting those specific initiatives. Veterans. So one of the things that we love here is when candidates come to us, clients come to us and say, we want to have more veterans. We want to promote veteran hiring initiatives. They want to help satisfy OFCCP government regulations and internal diversity quotas. And so what they did, and what some of these clients did of ours, you can see Walmart did this, Walt Disney did this, etc., is they tapped into our highly informed and qualified candidate pool by working with us and our design team and their design team and coming up with these wonderful and beautiful ads that we put up in front of all of these people. And the result was that they got more veterans in their pipeline. They got more people informed about the fact that they cared about hiring veterans. And long story of that is, in addition to getting immediate benefits with that advertisement, all consumers that came onto Glassdoor and saw these ads knew that not only were they hiring these people, but Walmart, Walt Disney, etc., they cared about messaging not just to the millennial audience, but to audiences of all different shapes and sizes and ages. So I mentioned graduates and millennials before, but I'll do so again. Again, like I said, we've got a lot of people. We have over 1 million millennials that logged onto Glassdoor in the last 90 days, an average of 5 times per visit. So what that's showing is that this is a very high volume and quality audience that's on Glassdoor. And so if you are Accenture, if you are Box, if you are an organization that not only wants to hire the best and the brightest, but you want to hire the best and the brightest in the new millennial workforce, we've got the right audience for you. And you can see here Box, one of our mutual clients, they're a technology company in this area, in the San Francisco, Bay Area, and they wanted to target millennials. They had lots of entry-level and exciting opportunities for consumers and candidates all over the country here, and they wanted to make sure that they spoke to that audience. And by partnering with us and doing some display advertisements as well as some job advertisements, they were able to double their traffic in the first 30 days of that program because of that awareness. And you can see here some additional statistics. We have about 78% of our audience are college educated, and 38% of them are millennials. So again, like I said, I know I may be beating a dead horse a little bit, but if you need entry-level hires, if you have management programs, if you are an enterprise rent-a-car that has a wonderful management training program, and you want to target the right audience, Glassdoor is the place to do that. And awards and announcements. So I touched on this briefly previously, but one of the biggest things that display is really known for, especially throughout websites like ours, is awareness. So just getting in front of those informed applicants and candidates that may not be thinking of you top of mind. And so Glassdoor has a program that we roll out at the end of every year called Best Places to Work. It's our Employees' Choice Awards. And I'm sure many of you have either been on the list or heard of the list and had questions about the list. And AppDynamics is one of our clients, and they were on the list last year, and they promoted within a display advertisement the Best Places to Work award. And because of just that award, because of that advertisement, they had over 460,000 impressions on those advertisements with an average click-through rate. So how often a consumer is coming on that advertisement, not only just viewing it, which is the impressions, but clicking on that advertisement, and they had a click-through rate of 0.15%. And the industry average is about 0.04%. So you can really see that not only are we getting in front of everybody, but the content is so compelling because of our platform and the nature of Glassdoor that people are more likely to click on those advertisements as well, and therefore continue with that brand awareness and and get more informed applicants in your pipeline. So I have a question here. I'm gonna stop for a second. One of our attendees just asked, how can you get on the Best Places to Work list? And that's a great question. So the Best Places to Work list is handled by our public relations firm. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to your account team who will direct you to PR, or you can just simply reach out to pr@glassdoor.com. There's a bunch of different credentials based on the content you have on your Glassdoor page that make you applicable for candidacy in that award. So if you have any interest, I definitely would encourage you to either reach out to me and I can connect you to PR, or just reach out directly to pr@glassdoor.com. Thanks for the question. And moving right along. So here are some examples of some event promotions that some of our mutual partners have done. So BNY Mellon, they had a career hiring event. And hiring events are so important, again, to attract those millennials, to get a lot of people into a funnel very quickly and cost effectively. Job fairs, and Loan Depot had one as well, where they wanted to not only just talk to one specific audience, one specific job, or one specific department, but you can see here that they're looking for a lot of different types of people, and so they were able to use our advertising solution to promote those recruiting events and target those locations. So you can see here that it was in Frisco, Texas, so we didn't run this ad in Boise, Idaho, or New York. We ran this ad in the Frisco, Texas area and surrounding locations where we believed that, based on understanding from Loan Depot where those candidates were coming from. And again, AppDynamics was another client of ours where they were able to increase their registrations for those job fairs and hiring events after promoting events specifically to attract female engineers. So again, that niche demographic, whatever it may be for your organization. And again, I love showing these ads, one, because I think this guy just looks like he's having such a good time, and two, because it really does speak to a lot of the pains that we know from our retail partners and from organizations that have to beef up their hiring for Christmas and whatever other holidays you celebrate. And so we have a lot of organizations that partner with us around this time to start talking about what we're going to do together to help them with their retail holiday season or any other seasonal surges they have. Or, new store openings. So if Toys R Us had a new store in the San Francisco area, they'd probably reach out to us and say, hey, what does your audience look like in this area, and how can we get in front of the right people? And 10% of our users are included in that retail sector. So of those 30 million, we've got about 10% of them that are in that specific sector, and you can speak to those people directly. And so moving right along, I'm going to stop here and just check for questions. We are rocking and rolling. So our case studies. I'm going to talk again about App Dynamics because they're one of our partners that have just invested a ton of time in understanding how our display advertising solutions are working well with their brand. So here are some of their challenges. To recruit engineers in a competitive market, and specifically female engineers. So again, if any of you are recruiters on the line and you are searching for engineers, your pipeline is probably more full of male candidates than females. And so they really wanted to target the right audience to diversify their candidate pool. And then they wanted to showcase their brand and culture and take that story full circle for female engineers looking at those advertisements, as well as anybody else that laid eyes on those ads. And so some of the solutions that we worked on with them were to run diversity campaigns to target female engineers. In addition, and I always like to caveat this because I don't want to give anybody the impression that our advertisements will, if you partner with Glassdoor and just partnered from a display advertising perspective, that you would have the same exact results as App Dynamics here, because they also are partnering with us on both the employer branding and job solutions. But again, the diversity campaigns was the first step in the direction to get female engineers in front of their brand. And then therefore, by running those diversity campaigns to target female engineers, those individuals, those women, were able to not only think of App Dynamics more top of mind when they had it previously, but then they were able to go to App Dynamics profile, take a look at their brand, take a look at the open positions, and the result was that they made 22 engineering hires in 12 months, and a lot of them were females. And it just shows that we've got unique audiences here, and we've got a wonderful display algorithm to get those advertisements in front of the right people for you. So the other thing I wanted to touch on that's a little different than true display advertising is just this additional benefit that we have if you are a client with ours and are partnering with us for the employer profile. And it's this target companies feature here. And so instead of actually going and just showing you a screenshot, I'm going to go live to the site. And so I'm actually in our employer center. So if any of you are paying clients or if you have a free employer account, I'm hoping that you have logged into your employer center in times past. And if you are partnering with us for the employer profile and you click on this employer branding tool here, what you're going to see down here is this targeted companies area. And so if you click on this, you're going to be able to put companies in that you want to target with your employer branded open positions. And so you can see that we target some of our competitors here, as well as Google. And what this is doing is it's putting our brand top of mind for candidates that are going to these other profiles that may not be thinking about Glassdoor as well. And you can see here that the estimated impact for something like this is thousands upon thousands of impressions, because those candidates are again going to get in front of you more top of mind in areas that they may not normally have thought to see. And so I'm going to show you Coca-Cola's profile here. Coca-Cola is not a paying client of ours, but if you scroll down and if a candidate were to come onto this page, take a look at some of the information about Coca-Cola, and then they're going to scroll down here, look at some reviews, and then they're going to see other companies to explore. And by putting the information in the target companies here, if you decide to target those companies, that information about your brand is going to show up as well. And so what you can see here is Macy's and Geico have specifically identified that they want to target Coca-Cola's audience and get their brand and jobs in front of them as well. And so I wanted to just touch on that because I think it's an essential piece. You can only target companies that do not have enhanced profiles. And so, you definitely want to take a look at our site, or you want to reach out to your account team to make sure that, you're getting the right guidance on how to do this and go about doing this. But the great thing about these tools is that they're all self-service. You can change them as frequently or as seldom as you like based on the audience that you want to get in front of. So again, when you're thinking about where are you losing candidates to? What's your competition? You want to see, go on to Glassdoor. Are they partnering with us? If they're not, then you want to be able to speak to that audience. And so again, it's utilizing your brand to speak to candidates on competitors' profiles. And so, it's a quick webinar. That's what we have to review today. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to shoot them over to me in the questions panel. And if you don't, I hope you found value from this quick webinar. Oh, I have one question here. Is the pricing CPM, so cost per impression or cost per click? Great question, Jessica. And the pricing is cost per impression, so CPM. If you have any questions on pricing, you can definitely reach out to your account rep. If you don't know who that is, absolutely no biggie. Feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'll get you in touch with them today. As I mentioned, and as Sophia mentioned, this recording will be sent out to everybody that registered. If for some reason you don't receive that within the next day or two, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll make sure to get it in front of you as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.